Hi, everyone. Well, we made it. Today is election day. And, as everyone knows, there's some really important choices we get to make today. But I kind of want to make a point that even more important than the outcome of this is the choice about the quality of how we choose to be in this time. And so, yeah, today it's the deadline. People got their votes in. Hopefully you voted. That's great. And, we're going to find out who some of the leaders are going to be the next bit of time. Presidents and Congress and states and cities, you pick some referendums and things like that. And that's great. Choosing our leaders is important. It makes a difference. And in a certain way, it doesn't. This is each of our little votes we know is just a drop in the bucket. And in a certain way, like voting is like kind of the bare minimum of democratic participation. There's a quote from my daily calendar here from Buckminster Fuller, and it says, "To ask a politician to lead us is to ask the tail of a dog to lead the dog." So I want to point out that in this metaphor, we're the dog. We're the ones who are in charge here. The whole point of democracy is that we're the ones who are responsible for how things go and what happens. And I just want to remind everyone that everyone's worried about how this election is going to go. Um, and regardless of what the outcome is, like whatever happens, we know that like at least a third of the population is going to be freaked out. And this is a really incredible opportunity for us to practice empathy and compassion. And our sense of like forgiveness and kindness, these are all going to be put to the test soon. And you might not understand like the reasons why someone is, disagreeing with you about whatever happened. Um, but one thing you definitely can understand is that you know what it feels like to be a human being that feels vulnerable and scared. And so really starting to notice like how can we care for each other, even if we have disagreements, is really important. And so what I want to propose is that the most important choice today is not necessarily between who our leaders are going to be, but it's the choice about whether or not we choose to have our lives be guided by fear or guided by love. I think it's really important for all of us to pay to the attention to the quality of how we move through this experience. And the quality of how we choose to relate to each other and care for each other is actually going to be more valuable than just about anything that can happen in this next bit of time. The thing is, if we make choices based on fear, it leads to choices and actions that are protective, defensive, aggressive. It leads to reactivity, which leads to more division and silos and separation. And there's no way that we can actually make good decisions if we're letting fear guide our decisions. But if the choice of love, how we relate to each other, can be so powerful because every choice that we make based on love is ultimately going to lead to a better world. And that is actually something that we might be in consensus about. We actually do all want to live in a better, happier, more peaceful world. And so how can we choose love today and over the next weeks and onwards? Now, if you're not sure about whether or not, look, we're all scared a bit. That makes sense. But if you're not really sure about like whether or not fear can be really destructive, I put a link to a TED Talk over here where a guy really breaks down about how fear kind of really messes up our system. Fear suppresses creativity. It suppresses connection, and it really does suppress our best selves. So however you voted today or over the last weeks, and whatever happens in this next period of time, I just really encourage everyone to remember that the most important choice today is between fear and love. And please, let's all vote for love. Um, we are all in this together, and there's really no other way around it. What makes this democracy work is the way that we choose to sort of work together in making a more perfect union. Thank you for listening, and check out my other my YouTube channel. I'm like making a lot of videos lately, and I'm continuing to make some more. I have a whole list of ones that I'm excited to bring to you over this next bit of time. Thank you so much. Oh, and I'll also say that today I'm launching a new podcast episode with Alexa Garcia. My podcast is called Fractal Friends, and this episode is going to be great. And it's featuring her brand new song that's like literally finishing production right now, and it's called The American. So come check out Fractal Friends wherever you listen to podcasts. And thank you again for watching my video. Love everyone. I love you. I really do. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being humans with me. Thank you for being on the team. I'm grateful to be part of this grand adventure.